Once again, you are all welcome from wherever you are joining from. Uh, Elvis Lovett is my name, and my students call me Prof. Prince. And by God's grace, I am the lead instructor here at Lion Tech Academy Canada, where we deliver programs in artificial intelligence, cloud computing, DevOps, and cybersecurity. And myself, been in the industry now for close to 9 years, and I come also from a very, very humble background. And I do what I do. What we do at Lion Tech is because we know that because of the poor governance structures that we have in Africa, in most of our African nations, five, if not 8 out of 10 Africans, are thinking of traveling, right? So we want them to travel with skills that can position them, wherever they go, right? So let's say, for example, you're in Nigeria and tomorrow you find yourself in the United States, right? Are you just traveling with the visa, or you are traveling with the skills that is needed to survive in the United States, right? Because it's all about skills, right? Wherever you go, wherever you go in this world, if you want to apply for a job, you will always need to submit a resume. And what is a resume made of? A resume is what? Is a document that markets your skills, that markets your competency. And, that's what decides whether or not you are going to be in the category of those who just believe they can do anything, or those who want to position themselves to be able to say, oh, you know what? Nope, I am a doctor. I'm a medically trained doctor. I can only work in the medical field, right? Not, maybe find myself in, of course, you could find yourself in warehouse, but of course, you have focus, you know where you're going to. And skills, global skills that have the potential, or skills that are borderless, right? So this is what, is going to make room for you. And um, so that is one of the reasons why we began this. And also because most tech companies, Western tech companies, are beginning to look at, India, right? I mean, I begin to look at Africa as a source of tech level, because Africans are, for the right reasons, okay, for the right reasons, Africans are rising up, right? We are beginning to, think more about career, right? You discover that, in our generation today, it's no longer about, oh, I just want to have a master's degree or have a bachelor's degree, right? Parents are beginning to think critically okay, this thing you're about to study, what is the career outcome? So gone are those days when, you just need to just pick any course, right? Today, if you're advising even your own child to pick a course, you want to what? You want to look at it from a global perspective. Why is that? Because the world has become a global village, right? Today, if you study, let's say, computer science, for example, maybe from the University of Nigeria, right? And you want to travel and work in the US, is what? A 4 years degree in Nigeria is the same 4 years degree, in the US, right? So what? They're just simply just going to equate it. They are simply to they will do what is called equivalence, right? And you have a lot of those bodies or organizations that run, equivalency to tell that, oh, you know what you acquired in Nigeria for 4 years is equivalent to A, B, C, and D in America, in Canada, in Europe, in Finland, in Norway, right? So that's to tell you that the world indeed is a global village, or because of the internet, okay, the world has become a global village. And this is why we are here today to talk about future tech careers, okay? The careers that you need, the skills that you need. Now, if you are just like me, if you go on my LinkedIn, you will see there, right? I have an HBCom. HBCom is honors in business, okay, administration. So I'm a business oriented person. But now you're going to be asking yourself, how did I find myself in tech to a point where I'm a tech evangelist, right? It's because I am determined. So because I did it, succeeded, and this changed everything for me. I think that I owe my generation this knowledge. This is so important. I can't say that I succeeded in, or I am succeeding in what I do because I am smarter than you know, right? It's because I am determined to learn and to transmit knowledge. So once again, you're highly welcome to this webinar. And again, my name is Prof. Franks. And of course, webinars are meant to introduce you, to things that works, right? To skills that works. So let's talk a bit about Lion Tech Academy. So like I mentioned earlier, we are a Canadian career development organization. So that means that we are not a university and we are not a college. So we are that body that is going to take somebody maybe, with, let's say, oh yeah, somebody with a law degree, right? Like you heard from Joyce's, testimony. Somebody with a law degree, and of course, what? We skill them up to become anything in the tech industry in the domain of cloud computing, DevOps, and cybersecurity, right? That's what we are a career development, okay, career development, skills development organization or company, all right? So we are not a typical university and we are not a typical college. However, we do have partnerships with universities. And our current partnership is with a university called Kesmos International University. So that means that your 9 months program here at Lion Tech, if you enroll, I hope you enroll, right? At the end of the day, it's going to be backed up by Kesmos University. And that's why our program is very, very strict in terms of compliance, right? You have to do weekly assessment. Okay. So you need to do it. Okay, Emily, I'm going to make you a co-host, so that you can be able to mute. Okay, others. What I think would not configure that. Okay, that's fine. So of course, right. So that becomes so important in terms of the compliance that we have to go through, and that's why we also have graduations, right? So if you go on Lion Tech Academy Canada Facebook page, you're going to see pictures of graduation, and we have one that is coming up next month in June. So this is exactly what we do. So now let's take a step further and introduce the program, the skills that you need for to make this dream come true. And please feel free to unmute yourself, okay? Ask me any question, okay? Don't be shy. Honestly, don't be shy. Myself, I'm a very shy person, but sometimes I just have to overcome that. Yeah, don't be shy because nobody it's on Zoom to begin with, right? So don't be shy. Ask a question. All right. And if you don't want to ask question, just what? You can just leave a message in the chat and we are going to respond to it almost immediately. Okay, can you guys confirm if you can hear me, everyone? Am I clear? Am I crystal clear? All right, okay. So now let's talk about the future tech skills. Okay, why we are here today. All right. So we're talking about skills that sells, right? And I'm just going to pull up our website. So because we have everything there, and I am going to share my screen. Okay. So this is the program I want you all, or that I would strongly recommend that you enroll in. Okay. And thank me 9 months from today. Trust me, you will not regret it. All right, let's talk about this. So, for those of you who know me, I don't like to talk too much. I prefer to, do a lot of demonstrations. So, but I am quickly going to review these, and then we are going to, get into, yeah, okay. And then we are going to get into some hands-on. So at least we learn something very detailed about this program, and that's going to be Linux, right? So as you can see, when you go to liontechacademy.org, if you want, I am going to drop this for you into the chart. There you go. Right. So if you click here, you're going to see the category of programs that we do offer. Okay, we offer IT program, business program, cybersecurity, AI for business. Okay, so this is a category of programs that we do offer. So if we go to IT programs, for example, you can see, okay, everything here. But so this is the program that you are about to enroll in. And what makes this program so unique is that it combines, okay, it combines cloud, okay, it combines DevOps and cybersecurity and offer it as one program. Okay, very, very unique program, very strong. It's a 9 months program. So of course, um, if you scroll down to what, you can look at what. So this is the program outline, and I'll talk about it in just a moment. Okay, so this is the program outline, and so what makes our program very unique is that it is what? It is super, super beginner friendly. So this is all we cover in month one. This is the foundation, and you can see that in this foundation, you have a mixture of what? Of cybersecurity skills that you're going to learn on month one, right? And you have what? You have command line navigation, Linux operating systems, okay, computer system fundamentals, basic troubleshooting, and of course, what? Basic scripting basics. So we'll talk about that in some more. But yeah, so this is what? So this is month one is what? So we call this Linux and Networking Foundation. Okay, students what? Students build, they require, okay, they were okay. Students what? Students build the foundation required for cloud, DevOps, and cybersecurity. So irrespective of the pathway that you are going to choose after 9 months, right? This is the foundation. This is where everybody starts, right? I hope you know about operating systems, right? So in terms of operating systems, okay, about what? See that popular what? Popular. Okay. Let's talk about Okay, popular what? Okay, popular what? Popular, okay, operating systems. Okay. Abdul, if you can stop the annotation, thank you. We have what? So we have Linux, we have Windows, okay, and what? We have Mac OS. So, so far, many of us are what? Many of us are here, right? This is what? So this is where we are. Many what? Many users are what? Are on Windows, right? Many of us here. So let me ask a question. If you're using Windows, can you type one in the chat? If you're using if you have a Windows laptop or a Windows computer, type one. See that? That's what. Let's take a survey. So at the moment we are 18. Let's take a survey, right? And discover. See that? So almost everyone is on Windows, right? But if you are going to work for a company like, let's say, for example, Facebook, right? Facebook runs application and systems runs on Linux. Even your phone is what? Is built on Linux operating system. How many of you know that? That your phone is a mini Linux computer, right? So of course what? But okay, more than what? 80% of the world's okay, mobile, okay, and what? And web applications run what? Or no, are powered on what? On Linux. So therefore, if you're going to become a cybersecurity specialist, okay, that's what you want to become. You want to become a DevOps engineer. You what? You need to master Linux. And that is where we are going to, we are going to get into that today, we are going to get into that. I will show you, how you can what? How you can start learning Linux from your Windows computer. So we introduce that directly in month one, right? So, but of course, what? Linux is so important. This is why this was. So this becomes your most learned skills. Why is that? Because think about it, okay? About what? Cloud computing, right? When you go to cloud computing, I hope that many of you know about cloud computing, right? Cloud computing, if you look at, for example, AWS, cloud computing, which is what? AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Everything what? They have what? So they have compute, right? They have compute as resource. And in this compute, you also have what? So you have Linux, you have Mac OS, and you have Windows. Why? Because there are some applications that must run on Linux. There are some that must run on Mac systems, and there are some that must run on Windows. So, and what do you think is important for cybersecurity specialists, cloud architects, and DevOps engineers to have Linux as a basic, foundational skill as what you need to learn, okay? For month one, you need to be an expert in Linux, right? Now, why is this important? This is important because all applications majority run what? On Linux systems. And unlike Windows that has a GUI, see that? So Windows has what? Windows have what? GUI, right? GUI stands for what? Graphical what? Graphical, okay? Graphical what? User what? User interface, right? So Windows have graphical user interface, okay? This is what we're talking about here. See this here? So let's say, I come to this file, right? See that? Oh yeah, this is my file. Okay, so I come to this file, if I want to copy, I can what? See that? Everything here, I can copy this file, I can share the file. Everything with my mouse is what? This is equated or referred to as what? Graphical user interface, where you are just clicking, 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 and clicking. However, in a working environment, you are expected to work on what? On the command line interface. See that? So we have what? We have GUI and then what? we have CLI. So on the GUI, we have what? Here we use mouse to what, to manage, okay? Manage what? Manage files and what? And systems, okay? And here, of course, what? Here we use, but CLI, what? CLI stands for Command Line Interface, okay? That's what CLI stands for. So which means, okay, and every operating system has CLI, right? So of course what? Windows has what? CLI, Linux what? And Linux distributions, Linux and distributions, Linux what? And its distributions also have what? Also have CLI. And of course what? Mac has what? What we call Mac terminal. And of course what? That is a CLI. See that? So this becomes one of the first skills that you want to learn. And that is where we start in this diploma journey, right? You want to learn that. And you're going to see. So even as I'm talking right now, sorry, right? You can just Google search DevOps jobs, maybe near you, right? And you look at what? Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to share one. Okay. That is, one. So we had a student who went for an interview in Lagos last week. Okay. I'm going to share his job description with you guys. And what? And of course, we met and we were able to, prep him for the interview. He went and he was able to nail the first interview, and now he has to go for the second interview. See that? And of course, what if you look at his job description, everything was what you have Linux to have everything that is in this job in this program outline is what was there, right? Very, very important. So Linux is the first skill that you need to learn. Okay, these are skills that makes you employable, right? What makes you employable is skills. Okay, skills. Not just skills, but skills that you master to your fingertips. Very, very important. That's the only thing that sets you apart is skills. What you know is what will get you known. Okay, even the Bible says that what? That a man's gift maketh room for him. Abi? Right? So a man gives, maketh room for him. In other words, a man's skills, okay, makes room for him. So month one, you have to learn about what? Computer system fundamentals, Linux operating system, command line navigation, right? File systems and permissions, user and groups, networking fundamentals, right? Basic troubleshooting and all whatnot. So let's talk about something here about what, file and what? Files and permissions. Very, very important. Now, most of you don't know, but even on your Windows systems, you have what? You can secure files. So let's say we come here, right? And let me click on any folder and you can see what? I can secure files on my system. So in the working environment, working as a DevOps engineer, cloud architect, or security architect, or cybersecurity analyst, one of your job is to enforce security, right? Security cut across everything. In the cloud, it's just like, for example, right? If you look at this document is what? So this document is Google Doc, right? This what? So this is a Google Doc document. I can what? I can share this document. And of course, what? How many of you know that this document is in the cloud? Right? When we talk about cloud, we what? We are referring to anything that is online, anything that is what? Is stored online. Any services that you consume online, right? Is referred to as cloud services. Okay? Did you know that before? Right? So Google Doc is what? It's an example of cloud. Now, this document we have several options of what? Of interfacing with this document, right? Now, I could what? I could just download what? This document. I can what? I can click here on download, right? And save it on my laptop. See that? This one. So this document can be saved on my laptop, but there is a risk. What if tomorrow my laptop is stolen, right? What if tomorrow my laptop dies? Okay, see that? So of course, if my laptop becomes, inoperable or maybe it's not working again, what happens? I lose everything on this laptop. This is why today, what every smart person, whether you are techie or not techie, you must think about backup, right? Many of us know about backups, right? When we were in secondary school, secondary university, in those days we used to use Flash, isn't it? Flash as what? As a way of backing up, right? USB drive, where what, we put everything in there each time we upload everything there. That was a lot of work. Because what? Even that flash can get missing. And if it gets missing, what happens, right? So that is really a problem. So cloud computing what? Introduces cloud services and takes companies from what we call on-prem, right what? Right into the cloud. Let me show you what a very, one other example, right? So you can see like this document, right? Everything is in the cloud. Now, from a security perspective, if I want to share this document, I can what? I can modify who is going to do what. You see that? Right here, what? You see restriction? That's what? That is security, right? Right there. So I can what? I can decide if I want you what? If I want anybody with link to do A, B, C, and D, right? I can decide what I want them to do. Anyone what with link can view, right? Now, when we start learning Linux, you will refer to view as what? As read only, right? Because what? You can view, but you cannot write. Okay, like you can view, you cannot edit. Even to download, you cannot download, right? Because what? There is a permission in place. Again, what? Now you can say, you know what? Oh, anybody with link can what? Can comment on the file, right? Yeah, that's also another permission that you can allow. You can also say what, anybody with a link can what? Can edit the file. You see that? It becomes so this is at the personal level you can apply security, on the things that matters to you. Then how much more at the company level? See that? So the skills we are learning is super, super, super practical and very, very, very what important for you to master them. Okay. So we have, of course, what talking about Linux. See that this is what. So this is what you learn: file systems and permissions, user and groups, right? I hope you know that even on your Windows computer you have what. Okay, let me just show you my own, right? See, I have, where are my users? Okay, it's here, right? So okay, see that I have what? See that this is what? This is how much users, or let me not go and log out now because I want to show you something, Abby. See that this is what? These are all what? All the users that I have on my system, right? Now, how do I manage them? But what? This is just my own personal computer. Okay, and what? I am able to enforce users and group management. How much more in the company environment? So of course, what as a DevOps engineer, you want to because when you are working in the company environment, right? You are sharing resources, platforms, and systems with your colleagues. So it becomes so important for you to understand how to manage users, how to manage groups, how to configure users, permission, and how to what to assign groups and all of that. Users and group administration is also a very, very critical component when it comes to cybersecurity. So in cybersecurity, there is a concept of what? Of IAM, right? Identity and access management. Okay, it's all about what? It's all about users, and groups. Okay. How many of us work in organizations that restricts our access to certain resources or yeah, resources, offices, right, like that. If you work for MTN, for example, let's say you work for MTN, you work as a salesperson, right? You are a foot soldier. You have what? You have no business with HR. And that's why you look at MTN building what? You see the HR what like the management is maybe somewhere on around the 25th floor, right? The last floor up, that's where they are. So before you get there, you have to what? You have to go through all the other floors. They have to what? They have to authenticate you. Right. So maybe let's say, okay, you're a partner. You come in, you what? You talk to receptionist, they always say, yeah, oh yeah, I know. Okay. The CEO is expecting you. Hold on, let me what? Call the security guard. So of course what? There is somebody what who comes in and what use their access to take you what? Straight to the fifth floor. That's what? That is security. So we leave security on what? On a regular basis. If you visit any military barrack, right? There are what? There are things you can and there are things you cannot do. Okay? In the military barrack. If you go even just to Aso Rock or this our other presidency in Cameroon, right? There are things you can't and there are things you cannot do. That's called what? Users and group management. So we live this every day, right? So you learn that. Networking fundamentals, very, very important, right? TCP, IP, DNS, HTTP, and SSH. Very, in fact, crucial month one skills that you need to learn. So let's say, for example, you know, you have a server in the United States. You are based in Lagos, right? And of course, what you want to log into that server. How are you going to log into that server? That has to what? That has to be done via what we call SSH. See that? So critical. So these are what? These are skills you learn in month one. Anybody have a question here with regards to month one? So of course, what? At the end of month one, we have what? We have a project and we have quizzes, right? That you need to, do. You're going to what? Configure and what? And secure what? A Linux what? Server for remote administration. That is your first project that you will do in month one. Moving on. So month two, we are going very deep now in cloud. So at least what? Now you have learned some basics. Now you know how to log into servers. You know how to work on a command line interface. So look at what? These are what? All the skills. And these skills needs to be on your resume, right? This is what you can do. This is how you can prove your experience on any job interview, right? So it becomes super, 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 super critical that you understand how this works, right? Month two, learn what? Cloud computing foundation. See that? Networking in the cloud. Oh, I am right. Security, learn what? Firewalls, cloud cost awareness, virtual machines, storage services, AWS and Azure overview, cloud computing models, right? Learn about all of that. Project, a secure virtual server and what hosts what? A basic application in the cloud. We do this all the time, right? So you can see that what? That the program is what? Is very, very hands-on. Okay. Like that. Okay. Month three, we what? We start getting into the core of DevOps, right? CI/CD. Okay. Git, automation, and what? And CI/CD foundation. Very, very important. Automation is what? This is where security, cloud, and DevOps all comes together, right? And of course, we'll talk about how artificial intelligence, is mixed into this equation, right? So normally, right, when it comes to DevOps, DevOps is a matter of practices. The same thing, with what cybersecurity also what is made up of practices like what, firewall protection, and still what and access management, we talk about what, talk about, the CIA triad, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. How do you, implement confidentiality on the system? Okay. Just like what we saw just now with Linux, right? How do you make sure that confidentiality is enforced? How do you implement integrity? How do you implement availability? That's called what? A CIA triad. This can be implemented on-prem and in the cloud. What do you mean by on-prem? Right? On what? On-prem and what? And cloud. Let's talk about these two. So, of course, what? If you're taking notes, you are learn about two things today. So, when a company, when what? When a company have something like what? When a company has, something like, let's say, well, okay, a computer room, right? A computer room. Okay. They have a computer room, and of course, what? This computer room, okay, hosts what? Hosts via entire application. Now, this is what? This is called on-prem. So in most cases, it's called what? It's called a data room. See that? So what? Everything, the application, the file system, everything is hosted there, right? That is one. Just like, for example, now you see like you have, look at my, no, sorry. Oh, I forgot that I'm not sharing my entire screen. Let me do it now, okay? So that I can be able to move around and be flexible. Screen one. I'm going to share. You're going to see me start sharing again. All right. See that? So now, if you look at, okay, see that? Let's assume that what? That this is on-prem. See that? So see that now everything what? Everything in my download is on-prem. So I have what? I have two file systems, okay, on what? On my computer, right? Two. One what? So one is in the cloud. See that this is what? This is cloud, OneDrive. Okay. So I have what? I have document that what I'm saving in the cloud. What this means is that, right, the files in this particular platform are what are independent of my operating system. So if my computer is stolen, it's no big deal, right? I can what? As long as I have my login access into the LionTech Academy cloud system, I will see what? I'm still going to access my files wherever I go in the world. So let's say, for example, I was traveling to, Maiduguri, okay, to do a talk, right? I don't have to carry my computer with me. I just what? Back up everything in this cloud environment and I travel. When I get there, all I need is what? Is access to an internet. Or I mean to what? To internet and to computer. Right? To a computer I can log in on, log in, authenticate myself, and of course what? Bam, I access my stuff. So that's what? That is cloud, right? So I could travel there and I log in on any computer, right? I don't have to carry my computer from here and be traveling with it. No, why? Because everything is saved in the cloud. All I need is my login what? Login credentials. So that is cloud. However, if my files are stored on my desktop, it becomes on-prem. So now, in order for me to access the hours, what I must have the computer with me, except I am syncing this desktop to the cloud, so that irrespective of what happens, or with my computer, I can always have access to my files in the cloud. You see that? So these are the skills that you are going to acquire. That is not just going to help you in terms of career, but also what? Also, in terms of how you become, proficient, efficient, and productive, right? As an individual. You get what I'm saying? Like that. So this is so when you hear about cloud, right? It's not something that is, it's superficial. Now let me give you an example of of cloud here. We have we have contacts in in Google services. Now, how many of you know about contacts in Google services? Right? So now when saving when what when saving a contact on your phone, you have you have almost let's say four options, right? You can you can save on save on phone. You can save on SIM cards, or you can save on on Google accounts. Okay. Now, which of these do you think is most secured? Most secured and scalable? Is it your phone, your SIM card, okay, or Google Contact? See that? Exactly. See that? So now, so how many of you have encountered people say, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, I lost my phone, I lost your contact," right? No, right? So even if you lose your phone, right, you should not be losing your contacts. So of course, So now, if you are here as an entrepreneur, right, maybe as a business person or even a normal professional, you should not be saving your contacts on the phone or on the SIM card, because if the phone is stolen, what happens? Everything is gone, right? If the phone becomes bad, of course, and the number was saved on the phone is lost. If it becomes bad and it was saved on the SIM card, it's okay. You can You can still recall, because You can put the SIM card in a different phone and recover it. However, the most safest approach, of course, is to save your contact in, see that this service here is called And all of us have Gmail accounts, right? But not everybody knows that you can Oh, sorry, you can. Okay, see that? If you come to your Gmail, you click here, and of course, you come to contacts. Okay. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. It's because I want you guys to see what you are getting into, right? And to see, how possible it is to acquire the skills and what lies ahead of you, right? It's all about skills acquisition. So now So this cloud is This contact is a cloud service, right? For For your own personal use. Now If I look at this contact here, of course this is an academy. So of course Yeah, right? Alliance Tech we save all of our contacts in the cloud. And you can see, how come I have this 150? I think I should have more than this, right? We have over close to 5,000 contacts saved here. See that? But of course This is the point, right, that I'm making here. I have So I have 151 contacts saved in the cloud. This is good news for me. Now, what that means is that all my team members can have access to this contact without me giving them a phone, or without me having to give them my phone, right? That's it. So This is why companies are also moving to the cloud. And this is why you can work for any company anywhere in the world. Let me give you another example, right? You see this WhatsApp web here? Okay. So you see this with WhatsApp web today, how many of you know about linked devices on WhatsApp web? Now, do you know that WhatsApp has evolved to a point where you can You can be in Nigeria and You are
Okay, man. Real.
Okay. I think it makes sense to mute everyone for the sake of sanity. But not everybody knows how to behave on these meetings, right? So you can with WhatsApp, right? You can be anywhere in the world and you are administering somebody's WhatsApp somewhere else because of Because of cloud. So of course Cloud is what is enabled by internet, right? Internet. So anything that is online is what is referred to as cloud. And this is why you can what? You can work for any company in the world. Why? Because of one technology, cloud computing, right? So now, of course, what? If I have an application that is running online, all I need what is to give anybody access to that application, and of course, what? They can manage it as long as they have the skill. See that? Easy. But if I have the application what running on my laptop, it's impossible. Why? Because it's not online. See that? So this is what? This is cloud. Because what now you need to what? You need to be able to understand what? Your own personal cloud services in order for you to what? To then appreciate why a company like let's say maybe okay, the Ministry of Justice will what? Will need cloud services. Let me give you a very simple example, right? Look at see this here, Drive. Now, this is what? This is what? This is what? A what? A what? Document what? Document management. You see that? Everything here is in the cloud. See that? This is what? You are what? Google what? Drive is also what? It's also a cloud service. So now, instead of you to store, I don't know, like most of you, if you have parents that grew up, in the 80s like that, right? You have like I don't know how many of you still have like in your home you have all this stack of folders, right? Stack of folders all over the place, and maybe even most of you even have your notebooks, right? Maybe from primary to from primary to even primary up to university is all what? It's all saved in one cupboard. But what happens if one day, right? God forbid, but fire happens, right? Or rats. How many of you have? How many of you have suffered from, suffered from rat? Like, rat has eaten your birth certificate. Rat has what? Eaten this one. Rat, like, rat what? Rats are very, very good combi of that one, right? See that? So you have all of these documents that are stacked there. And of course, what? One incident, everything is gone. Not only can it be accessed by unauthorized individuals, but of course, what? It can be stolen as well. That's why sometimes, if you have a case in court, you go to court and say, oh, yeah, we cannot find your file, right? Therefore, what? You have to what? You have to remain in prison. Wow, really? Right? But what if the court had, or what? The court, what? Is backing up all case files in the cloud. Do you think that would ever be, that would ever be a situation like that? Where the court said, "Oh, we are so sorry, your case cannot proceed because we cannot find your case file." Of course, what? The answer is no, right? So, if you have documents and folders like this in the cloud, what becomes your first main thing? Of course, what? The main thing now becomes what? How do you secure? See that? How do you secure? Very, very important. See that? This is why you have to what? You have to learn what? Both application deployment, application automation, application monitoring, automations, and what? And security, because there is no way you can do one without the other. Otherwise, what? You become very, very incomplete. See that? Like that. So let me not talk too much, but of course, also this is also what? An example of cloud services. See that? So now I have what? See, for example, what we are planning what? We are planning an expo, right? This year. I can what? I can share this particular folder to unlimited what? Number of persons. See that? So whatever I put in there, they what? Whenever they log in, they can what? They can see it. Because what? I have shared the access. But if I had this on my local computer, right, it becomes what? Super, super difficult to share, right? See that? Now, of course, what they can only access if they have data, if they are online. That's what that is cloud. So when you understand object storage like this on a personal level in the cloud, now you have what? Now you scale your mind and start thinking, oh wow. So this police station in Lagos that have all these files, you can what? Maybe I can go there and consult them and say, hey, you know what? Have you imagined this place catching fire? What happens to all those files, right? Can we start a project where we start transcribing them and scan everything in the cloud? Yeah, because it's important, right? What happens tomorrow if get what I'm saying? Like that. That what that becomes important. So now you see that the program you study here is what not only is it skilling you to be able to work and offer your services to other organizations, but of course what you can also what become a consultant. Get what I'm saying? You can what? You can become a cloud consultant. You can look at all the businesses in your environment and what go there and you ask them questions like how do you manage your files? Are you saving everything on your computer or are you making use of what? Of cloud services? Something like Google, it what this gives them up to what 15 gigabyte of what of storage, right? And if I wanted to upgrade this, it what I can choose to pay, $2 a month and what I can get 1 terabyte. See that? But what? That is a great service that you are offering to that business, and believe me, they are going to pay you for that. This is how you get paid when what? When you offer services that are required by third parties, right? So yeah, that's what. This is month 2. You get what? Into Git, automation, and CI/CD foundations, okay? Month 4, oh, do we have month? This is what, okay, yeah, this is what I mean. Month what? Month 3. Month 4, what? Docker and containerization. Very, very important. You look at every applications today. So then what? Learn how modern applications are packaged and deployed. Okay, I will not go too deep into this because I don't want to scare you guys. But of course, what? Every application we see already what? Are running on what? Docker. Okay, modern applications. So of course, what as a project you're going to what build what you're going to connect what your application and deploy what using what Docker Compose. Okay. Month 5, Kubernetes and what cloud native operations. You will learn about again everything you see there. You have to what learn about. So Kubernetes is what is that platform where almost all companies that you can think of, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, MTN, Orange, are what they are all deploying their applications on Kubernetes. And so you see, you have to learn that. That becomes a must learn skill. Month 6, we learn what? Infrastructure as code and what? And configuration management. Very, very, very important. This is what? Ansible. Okay, learn that as well. Month 7, of course, what? Monitoring, logging, and site reliability. When we deploy application, one of the most important things you must do as a DevOps engineer is, of course, what? You want to be able to enable what? To enable, site reliability, right? That means what? You want to go to monitor the application, monitor server resources, and, look at all of that. So we use different tools. You want to know, like what is the latency of your app, for example. So let's say, for example, if your app needs to load in 1 second, and all of a sudden what is taking 10 seconds to load, that could be an indication that there is a problem. So of course, what you have learned about how to build monitoring systems on any application any applications. Okay, very very important. Now of course, what we learn then month 8, you come down to to cybersecurity and DevSecOps. Okay. So then learn how to secure systems and integrate security into pipelines. Security fundamentals, system hardening, network security. See that? How does Facebook arrow on the website? Oh yeah, that's what. See that? This becomes a very I cannot go into that, but you are asking a very, very highly technical that if I want to go into it right now, believe me, some people are just going to drop out. You know what I mean? Yeah. But is what? So Facebook first of all is what? Is a containerized service. So first of all, you have developers who write Who write the application code. Everything we see today runs on code, right? So once they build the application, of course, they deploy it. And of course, That is why you will learn in what? You will learn this in month 5. See this here? In fact, month what? Month 4 and month 5, we are what? We are going to build and deploy application. Of course, what? So that becomes your answer. So at that point, your what? Your question is going to be answered there, right? Like that. So you have that. Okay, very, very important. Then of course, what? Month 6, we have infrastructure as code, right? And configuration management. So think about this. Let's say you have a cloud account you're managing and you are asked to deploy 10,000 servers, okay? 10,000 watt Linux computer. So of course, what Terraform is going to help you to deploy that on the go. That's called what? Called automation. But of course, it's what is spread as code. Configuration. On that same 10,000 servers, let's say you are asked to, you are asked to install WhatsApp, okay, on all the 10,000 servers in 1 hour, okay? How can you do that? Okay, that's what. So that's where Ansible comes to the picture with what? With that, okay? With that configuration. So of course, you learn what? These are all the skills you need to learn. So you can see that the program is very, very, very heavy. Month 9, of course, this is capstone, right? Capstone, you have, final project planning, cloud architectural design, infrastructure automation, sensitive implement. Everything that we've learned now comes into the picture. We have so this is how we also cover what before you leave us, we do a lot of things. So you can see, like, if you go to, so what you can see, this is Lion Tech Facebook page, right? You can see we organize conferences. Towards the end of your program, we do a conference and we do a graduation as well. So you can see, like, for example, we have so you can see we have this one took place in 2024, and we have one that is coming up this month. And I hope that all of you are going to be there, right? Because in this particular conference that also features the graduation, we have you are going to learn how to learn AI and make money, right? So this is a 3 hours workshop. If you're not in Cameroon, you want to come to Cameroon for this, because I am going to be traveling to Cameroon as well. The team here will be traveling to Cameroon for this conference with experts, right? To train you on all of that. And of course, if you are our incoming student, don't worry about the fee there. Okay, as long as you have paid your registration for the program is ABC, you should be good, right? So this is how we run things here at Lion Tech Academy. And of course, then, oh wow, is this only who are your lecturers, right? You can see, if you come here, we see what we have. Emily Carter, Michael Thompson, Samuel Okafor is based in Nigeria, and we have Sophia based in the European Union, and myself, right? I'm the CEO and the lead lecturer. So it's such a privilege to welcome you all to this program. And so, of course, you see me often as a lead, but of course, you're going to see these faces or several other faces who are going to be coming into to impact you with skills. And these are individuals with very humble beginnings that are going to be there, to work with you. Okay. Anybody have a question? So of course, if you come to this side, you can you can see, right? That's the program details right there. Click there, and of course, you can see all of that. These are all testimonials of our students who have gotten hired in the program, right? Kezi, he was based in Nigeria, he just traveled to Canada. Mavic was in Cameroon, just moved to the US. And yeah, you can see all the testimonials. You can also go on our YouTube channel, you can see all of that there. So this is how the program runs. Now, in terms of the benefit of the program, you can click everything here, and you can see all the benefit, and of course the certification, and see that you have these are the career opportunities that at the end of the 9 months you can work you can work as a cloud security engineer, infrastructure what automation engineer, security operation analyst, system admin, DevSecOps, that cybersecurity analyst, what? A lot. These are all the skills that we are training you for. Or that what? We are skilling you for. Okay, we are giving you the skills for these types of opportunities. In terms of what? Okay, so this is what career opportunity there, exam. So of course, what now at the end of the day, if you want to write like specific certifications, these are what we refer to as industry certifications. You have what? You have the answers here. Okay, you have that there. So this is, an overview of the program. Believe me, you're going to enjoy it if you choose to enroll in the program. Okay, now, in terms of tuition, which is where most of you, are going to, think twice. Yeah. So our next, in terms of tuition, right? Of course, what? So our program runs, this time to this time. Yeah, it's approximately 9 p.m. Nigerian time to 11 p.m. And of course, what it runs what? Only Saturday and Sunday. The tuition is $3,500. Okay. But don't worry about that. Okay. For those of you that cannot afford it, we have scholarships that are running at the moment. 70% were scholarships. So if we put this, let me calculate the fees for you, right? So that you can see how much you are going to need to pay. Let's say we go to Google Sheet, and of course, what? Let's do tuition. Oops, 1 second. Let's what? So let's do new year, and what? Let's calculate what? Your tuition. Okay, tuition. So now, how much does the program cost? Okay, and what I will tell you, of course, what is, pick up what? Pick up the phone and call what? Call any of the admins who are in your WhatsApp group. Okay, if you have any issues, explain to them. Okay, you're going to be so surprised, how we are going to be able to accommodate you. Okay, so let's see. Now, of course, what? So you have, okay. So let's say we have what? We have our tuition here. And again, we have, I think this is very, very minute. Let's increase font size. Okay. Okay, see that? So here we have what? Okay, great. No, I think I forgot that Excel works very differently. So we have to increase this, okay? Increase that. Okay, great. So now we have what? So we have tuition is what? Is 3,000 what? $500, okay? USD. All right. And so if you apply what? If you apply scholarship of what? Of okay, and at what moment is 70%? That's what? 0.7, okay, percent. Therefore, what? So your what? Your portion becomes what? So this becomes, okay, yeah, this times that. Oh no, so this is what your savings, right? Savings is that. So then what? Student tuition becomes what? Becomes this minus what? Minus that. See that? Then of course what? If you look at your monthly installment, monthly what? Monthly installment. So this what? So this becomes, okay? Divided by 9, right? Because what the program was for 9 months. So you can see it's almost 1, 66. So this is what? So this is your monthly tuition, right? Now we can now what? We can also offer you up to what? Up to 0.8%, right? And you can see what? See that becomes what? 77. And if what? If we give you 90% discount, 90, see that? See that, yeah, what? This becomes your fee. But so we are looking at every what situation differently. so that everybody can enroll in the program. But of course, I was just looking at that, but of course, we are your stuff here is we are giving you 70% discount. And if you need any further accommodation, talk to us privately, okay? Like that. All right, talk to us privately, and of course, you enroll in the program. So of course, this becomes your tuition, monthly tuition is days. So yeah, you can convert that into your local currency or talk to your advisor. So we are going to be calling everyone in the webinar group probably after this meeting, okay, to let you to know where you stand, and all of that. Talk to us, don't be scared, right? Talk to us, and we are going to see how to, make the program affordable for you, right? You can say, oh, you know what, I only earn this amount of money at the moment. I have kids, I have a family, but I want to do this, right? Of course, we're going to help you, right? Like that. So we know that even at this, not everybody can afford it. That I know. Okay, so don't be scared to say what the CEO mentioned that you can accommodate us further. Okay, and of course, they can accommodate you. But for this, of course, whatever they decide, you must you must pay your first installment before before May 20th, okay? To secure the offer, and also for us to start preparing you for the program, right? And this is all part of that preparation, okay? So that is it. You can come here, and of course, you can't, don't enroll on this website, because if you enroll here, you're going to be forced to pay the $3,500. But you can just enroll through through okay, the link that we're going to send to you. You can click on it and you enroll. And of course, so you can do that. So let's see. I'm going to give you guys a form to fill, okay? And so with this form, we are going to get in touch with you sharp. So you can see it. Just click here and you can enroll, okay? I'll give you guys 10 minutes to do that, okay? So if you enroll now, right, we are going to give you a call immediately after this, and we're going to chat more, okay? Talk more about, the program. If you have any further questions, we're going to be more than happy to answer them, okay? That's it for me. I think I've been talking for too long now, for almost 1 hour, almost 2 hours actually. But let me